Hello and welcome to this week's video qigong and mindfulness class. I haven't got a specific topic that I've been asked to cover this week, but the issue of anxiety has been one that's been mentioned to me in a number of different contexts since I did my last broadcast. So I reckon that's as good a reason as any to look at how this can actually help you manage your anxiety. So, anxiety is very often a function of stress. Anxiety literally is when you are worried about what might happen, about the outcome of something that is yet to happen. Maybe you've still got some scope to actually change the outcome, but maybe you haven't. Maybe you sat the exam last week and you're now really anxious about the results. I think of all the stress-related emotions, anxiety is one of the worst, because this is the classic. You're going, what if, what if, what if, what if? And you are either thinking about something that has happened in the past that you really can't change, although you can change your perception of what happened in the past, or you are thinking about something that's going to happen in the future, where the outcome is uncertain. Now, the problem with saying what if, what if, what if, is that it's kind of sucks away everything from the present, and you are just completely living in either the past, worrying over what happened then, or projecting forward into a future that actually you don't know what is going to happen. And very often, worst case scenarios very rarely actually happen. So this is where mindfulness can be really, really very helpful. And obviously, the mindfulness meditation that I do as part of this class is designed to help you just focus on this moment here and now, and just let go of what happened in the past and what may happen in the future. However, the qigong set itself can be an extremely mindful experience if you choose to make it one. The moves are essentially so simple that you can get into a state where you are doing it with almost on autopilot. And all you need to do is just focus on your breath and your body. I always say when I'm teaching qigong, find your own breath and your own rhythm, and I often talk about letting your breath drive the movement. So whether you do the entire 6 moves that I lead you through in this class, or whether you choose to just do maybe the first move, which is undoubtedly the simplest and the easiest to remember, if you use that movement as a drive to focus on just breathing in and breathing out, and try and use your breath to focus on what your mind and your body need right now, that can then become a very, very mindful experience. The other thing that I would like to suggest to people for whom anxiety is a big issue is another major tenet of mindfulness, which is don't be judgmental. On one level, we all know that fretting about, an event that's coming up or worrying about something in the past actually doesn't really help. It isn't really likely to change the outcome. On one level, we know that. And it's also easy to judge yourself very harshly and say, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. The thing about mindfulness is it's all about, okay, that's how things are right now. I'm anxious about this event that's going to happen in the future. First of all, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Second, I'm just going to use my breath and the movements that I'm doing in qigong to bring myself back into this moment now, which is really all that I can control anyway. And sometimes it's about accepting that's just how things are. And, kind of having in your mind, this too shall pass. Because on one level, you know that the crippling feeling of anxiety that you're feeling will pass, because we've all lived through anxiety. And you know what? You currently, to date, have a 100% record of surviving anxiety and bad things in your life. You must have, because you're here now watching this video. So when we do the set today, I would like to invite you to use the movements as a kind of moving meditation, because the idea that meditation has to be done sitting still is pure rubbish. Movement can be very, very mindful and relaxing and soothing, especially when it is this sort of movement. If you don't feel like doing this sort of movement, then just go for a walk in the park. The simple act of putting one foot in front of the other, which is something I know you can do completely automatically almost, can be a very, very mindful and relaxing and anxiety reducing activity. The point of these videos isn't to lead you through a class each week, although obviously that's part of it. It's to give you the tools to help you manage the issues in your life. So, having said that, I would now like to invite you to get yourself into the position that where you're going to do the movements. That can be seated or standing. I'm going to stand, so bear with me, and I'm just going to move back to the other end of the room. So, take a moment to get yourself into your nice proper bear stance, which I will just remind you is feet about a hip width apart, knees very slightly bent. Try and have your hips, knees and toes all in a straight line. If you can, engage these abdominal core muscles. Make sure your back is nice and straight. Get your neck as straight as it can be, and try to have your chin parallel with the floor. And just for a moment, I want you to stand with your hands in whatever position suits you. And I would like to invite you to close your eyes and just breathe. And as you breathe, maybe you can try and use your breath to explore your mind, explore your body, and work out what it is that you need right now to help you feel good, feel relaxed, feel calm, feel positive. In fact, I'd like you to work out how you want to feel at the end of this class. Then when you're ready, open your eyes and get your hands hanging down loosely by your side, with the palms of your hands facing towards the back. And then with your next in-breath, slowly Let your arms float up in front of you. And as you breathe out, let that be the signal to just let your hands and arms slowly float all the way down. Try, if you can, to let the movement of your arms be in response to your breath. Find your own breath and your own rhythm. And just use this nice, gentle, repetitive movement to calm you, to relax you, and to help you remember that all that matters is what you're doing right now in this moment. And that for the next half hour or so, all you need to focus on is what's going on right now in your mind and body. Try and make sure your arms are nice and loose as they move. Maybe you could imagine that you've got puppet strings on your wrists and elbows. Maybe you've tried to imagine that your hands are almost being moved without your conscious thought. Just flow into the movement. And remember, it's not about doing the move perfectly. It's about doing it perfectly for you. So breathe in, let your arms float up. Breathe out, let your hands sink down. And then the last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sink down. And then the next move begins by raising your arms up, then turn your hands in and spread them out. And as you breathe out, let your hands float back in towards your chest and then back down. So your hands draw a Y shape in the air. As you breathe in, try to imagine your chest and lungs really expanding. Try to follow the breath all the way in. And as you breathe out, feel your chest and lungs relaxing. Maybe as you breathe in, you can imagine that you breathe in a good and positive energy from the air around you. And as you breathe out, maybe you can imagine that you breathe out any stress or tension like grey smoke. Breathe in, let your arms float up and then spread out. And as you breathe out, let your hands float back in, back down. And then the last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sink down. And then next time as you breathe in, I'd like to bring your arms up above your head as high as you can easily get. As you breathe out, dip slightly on your left knee and let your right arm float down to parallel with the floor, following your hand with your eyes. As you breathe in, your weight comes back up to the middle and the hand comes back up. And then do the same on the other side. And maybe you can imagine as your hands move through the air, you're painting a rainbow with your fingers. Breathe out, let one hand float down, and as you breathe in, bring the hand back up, and then the last time for this move, as you breathe in, bring your weight back up, bring your hand back up, and then turn your palms out. As you breathe out, let your hands sweep all the way down to the bottom. As you breathe in, just let your hands rise up to the top again. And as you breathe out and let your hands sweep down, I'd like you to imagine that you're pushing away any clouds that are obscuring your view of that beautiful rainbow. Breathe in, let your hands rise up. As you breathe out, let your hands sweep down by your side. And the last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sweep down by your side. And at the bottom, just relax and let go. And with the next in-breath, bring your hands up in front of your abdomen with the palms up. And as you breathe out, turn from the waist and let one hand float out to one side. As you breathe in, turn back and let the hand come back into the centre. And do the same on the other side. And every time you take your hand out, maybe you could imagine that you're collecting in a good and positive energy from the room. And as you bring that energy into the centre, as you breathe in, breathe that energy in. And every out breath, send your hand out to collect the energy, and every in breath, breathe that energy into your lungs. Breathe out, take one hand out to one side as you turn from the waist, and as you breathe in, bring the hand back into the centre, and then last time for this move, breathe in and bring the hand back in. And as you breathe out, let your hands just float down by your side, and then bring your hand into position ready to balance your chi. As you breathe in, imagine that you're running your hands around the outside and over the top of an imaginary ball of energy. As you breathe out, your hands sink down. Be careful with this move to take your hands no higher than your heart. And last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sink down. And stand with your hands crossed in front of you. Just for a moment, close your eyes. And for a moment, be still and quiet and just let everything sit. And I'd like to invite you to get yourself into position for the meditation section. And as ever, this will begin with the sound of the singing bowl. And I would like to invite you to get yourself comfortable. Close your eyes if you wish. Then I'd like to invite you to follow the sound of the singing bowl as it fades into silence. As the sound fades into silence, let your attention move inward. I'd like you to become very aware of where you're sitting or lying. I'd like you to focus your attention on where your body is being supported by the bed or the chair. And to become aware of the support that you're getting. Be aware of where your body touches the bed or chair and how it feels. Is it soft? Is it firm? And maybe you can imagine that gravity is pulling you just a little deeper into the bed or chair. And as that happens, just imagine yourself relaxing just a little bit more. Then I'd like to invite you just to bring your attention to your breath. Just focus your mind on the simple act of breathing in and breathing out. This is something that happens so automatically, most of the time we're not even aware of it. I want you to notice it now. I want you to try and notice what you sense with every in-breath and every out-breath. You may very well find that your mind wants to wander away from this. You may very well find that part of your mind is going to tell you this is silly, this is boring. You know, that's perfectly natural. So if you get those thoughts, I just want to think, oh, that's just one of those things. Because we all do it, even me. And when you discover that your mind has wandered off, I want you to congratulate yourself, because noticing your thoughts is one of the main things about being mindful. Being mindful means noticing what you're thinking and how you're feeling. And when you notice that your mind has wandered off, congratulate yourself, because you're succeeding in being mindful. And then gently lead your mind back to focusing on the simple act of breathing in and breathing out. And remember that when you do that, you are also succeeding in being mindful. Nothing matters except just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. Maybe you're aware of air moving through your nose or throat. Maybe you can follow the air all the way down into your lungs as you breathe in. Maybe you can be aware of the air going out as you breathe out. Maybe you're aware of the movement of muscles in your chest or abdomen. Whatever you're aware of as you breathe in and breathe out, that's perfect for you. But right now, I'd like you to try to bring your attention to that moment in between every breath. And your in-breath becomes an out-breath, and your out-breath becomes an in-breath. And there is just a moment when everything is still. Don't hold your breath, but I want you to notice that moment of stillness. however long it lasts. It's difficult to be still sometimes in today's busy world. But this is a moment of stillness that happens hundreds and hundreds of times every single day. Maybe you can remember that. And maybe you can imagine that every time that moment of stillness happens, it puts a tiny, tiny drop of stillness into a place inside you. And it puts it into that place where you keep all the good feelings that you can need at times. It's a place where you keep happiness, peace, calm, confidence, stillness, all the good feelings that we need sometimes to help us in our daily lives. I'd like to invite you to find that place now and breathe down into it. As you breathe out, I want you to visualize that that breath has picked up exactly the feeling that you need right now. I want you to imagine every in-breath picking up more of that feeling that you need right now. And every out-breath spreads that feeling further and further around your body. So that after a few gentle, easy breaths, maybe count to 5. And by the time you get to 5, the whole of your body will be filled with that feeling that you need right now. And I just want you to become aware of the whole of your body filled with that good feeling. Really enjoy it. And I'd like you to let your attention start to move outwards a little bit. Maybe you can become aware of clothes touching your skin. Become aware again of where your body is being supported by the bed or the chair. Slowly, let your attention move further outwards so that you become more aware of the room, more aware of sounds both inside and outside the room. And then slowly, gently, start to open your eyes, and as you bring yourself back to a more normal awareness, I'd like you to keep at the front of your mind the idea that you can take this good feeling with you through the rest of your day. I hope you found that meditation enjoyable and helpful. Focusing on your breath is probably the simplest, easiest and quickest stress management technique bar none. This is, I know, something that I've said in these videos before. If there is something that is causing you anxiety and you're mindful enough to notice your thoughts and realize that that anxiety is taking control, all you need to do is just bring your focus to your breath. Just breathe in and then breathe out. Imagine that place within you where you keep the good feelings. As you breathe in, imagine you find that place. As you breathe out, envisage that feeling being breathed around the whole of your body. Is this going to change what's looming in the future? No. The chances are that whatever it is that you are anxious about, it's probably not going to go away, but a number of things could happen. You may discover that actually it was a worst case scenario and it doesn't happen. That whatever it is, it's not as bad as you think it is, and or you will get a different perspective on whatever it is that is bothering you. There's a saying, I don't know who originally said it, so I can't attribute the quote, so forgive me, I mean you can look it up online. A piece of advice that I was given many years ago: frame every so-called disaster with the words, in 5 years' time will this matter? Chances are that however bad things are, the answer to that question is no. Only if the answer is yes does the matter need real attention. If you realise that the answer to what you're anxious about is that no, in 5 years' time it's not going to worry, I'd just like to get you to consider: is it really worth wasting my time, my energy, and sucking all the joy out of things now for something that in 5 years' time I'm going to look back and think, oh, what was I worried about? Thank you for watching this video, and happy Easter, and I will see you this time next week. Thank you.